So today's session is an open session. Okay, we can structure it the way we like. There are two aspects to it. One is to have question answers, and second is to have sharing. Whatever you wish to share as to how uh, the first 12 chapters you have been able to imbibe, understand in your own life, in your own daily practical stuff, that will be very interesting as well. So you can just spend maybe just 5 minutes looking at where we are as we have reached chapter 12. So we have seen what are the various aspects of karmas, how karma is what we have been born into, and therefore we are not in the non-action mode, but we are only in the action karma mode. Pravritti roop versus nivritti roop, which is the first set of sentences which we had taken from Bhagwad Gita. Since we've been born into action, we'll have to perform actions, and there is no escaping that. And what are the different type of actions? अकर्म क्या होता है, कैसे अकर्म केवल ज्ञानियों के लिए ही है, वो हमने समझा था. उससे पहले अर्जुन को बताया था कि तुम्हारा कर्तव्य ही कर्म है, कर्म ही कर्तव्य है, उसको किस प्रकार से करना है. इस तरह से हमने 5वें अध्याय में देखा, उन्होंने बताया कि कर्म जब करते हैं तो मेरे पे ध्यान, मेरे पे करके करो. उसके बाद में हमने देखा भक्ति के अंदर धीरे धीरे समझने लगे कि क्या भगवान कह रहे हैं, और विश्व दर्शन रूप हमने 11वें अध्याय में देखा. अब 12वें अध्याय में उन्होंने, अर्जुन को डाउट हुआ, उन्होंने पूछा कि क्या मेरे को उपासना करनी चाहिए उस विश्व दर्शन रूप की, या मेरे को उपासना करनी चाहिए जो ब्रह्म है, जो एक इम्पेरिशेबल, नित्य निरंतर निराकार ब्रह्म है, उसकी उपासना करनी चाहिए. अब यदि उपासना आपने कुछ तो बताई है और बाकी भी आप बताएंगे तो मेरे को समझ में आएगा कि कैसे कौन सी चीज़ बेटर है. तो उस तरह से उन्होंने प्रश्न किया. ठीक है. If there's too much noise at the back, there are seats vacant here. So no problem. Rahul, you can come here. Okay. So we had a summary of that very nicely given by Neelamji last time, and we can look at some key aspects of that summary of that chapter. Okay. And it was very clearly stated by as a response by Bhagwan that performing action and doing puja of or upasana of that which is manifested, the Sagun is superior. And then he describes as to how it has to be done. You have to be totally absorbed in him. समाधित्व उसमें होना चाहिए, उसमें पूरा सरेंडर होना चाहिए. तब जो है मैं तुमको मोक्ष देता हूँ. फिर जिससे वो नहीं हो सकता, वो अभ्यास द्वारा करे, वो प्रधानता दे, कर्म जो मेरे लिए करे जाते हैं उनको प्रधानता दे अपने जीवन में. अभ्यास किस चीज़ का, कि बार बार जो है, जब मेरे को भूलो तो मेरे को याद करो, तो बार बार अभ्यास करो उसका कि मैं ही सब करता हूँ, मैं ही सब जगह हूँ. ऑमनिसिएंट, ऑल परवेजिव एस्पेक्ट्स जो हैं उनकी याद करके उनको मैं बार बार surrender my actions to him. Then he says that if this is also not possible, then do it as important actions for me. Then he says, if that is also not possible, then you do surrender your actions to me with the with no intention of having any outcome, any attachment to the outcome of fruits. And then he says finally that by performing actions without having any attachment to the outcomes is also superior to performing meditation with knowledge. तो आपको ज्ञान है, आप ब्रह्म का ज्ञान करके आप ब्रह्म के अंदर उसका मेडिटेशन करते हैं, कंसंट्रेशन करते हैं, तो उससे सुपीरियर है ये करना, आसक्ति रहित कर्म करना. और इस बात को लेके इसलिए कहते हैं कि आसक्ति रहित कर्म करने से हमारे को जो फल है उसकी त्याग की प्रैक्टिस उसकी हमें समझ आती है. और जब हमारे को एक स्टेज आती है कि हमें कर्म भी त्याग करना होगा, तो वो हमें समझ में आ जाएगा कैसे वो त्याग करें. मेडिटेशन करने से तो हम खाली उसकी भावना में जुड़ रहे हैं, पर ये और भी ज़्यादा सुपीरियर, because we have understood that by performing actions we cannot attain that is which is beyond the actions. आत्मा ब्रह्म जो है वो विकार रहित है, उसमें कोई क्रिया नहीं है. क्रिया नहीं है तो जो अक्रियात्मक है, टोटली डिफरेंट है, तो कैसे क्रिया करके उत्पन्न करेंगे, आप कैसे उस पर पहुंचेंगे. जैसे हम अपनी वास्तविकता में देखते हैं कि स्वप्न में हैं, तो आप जाग नहीं सकते स्वप्न में कुछ भी करके. आप स्वप्न में कहेंगे कि इन अ ड्रीम इफ यू टेल योरसेल्फ दैट आई वांट टू वेक अप, it's very difficult to wake up. You persist in the dream. Okay, there's no action you can perform in the dream which will help you to wake up. Spheres are very different in that sense. So then, how do you do various type of practices which will help you to realize that oneself which is so immutable, so imperishable, beyond everything. So that is where the shlokas from 13 onwards start, and they talk about that if you are not having any dvesh, any aversion to anybody, then you are dear to me. And he goes on like that to various aspects. For example, the next one he'll talk about is that you are friends with everybody. You'll have compassion for everybody. You will not create fear in anybody. You will be without any mamta. मेरापन नहीं होगा. उसमें आपका जो है कोई अहंकार नहीं होगा. तो इस प्रकार से सब हम जितनी भी व्यवहार करते हैं, जितनी भी हम अपनी स्थितियों में होते हैं, उसमें ये समझ लेना कि हम इस प्रकार से जो है हम लोग हम अपना कर्म करेंगे और इस प्रकार से अपना भाव रखेंगे कर्म करते समय. इसके बाद में उन्होंने आई थिंक इन द नेक्स्ट 13 के बाद में 14 श्लोक में ही टॉक्स अबाउट that the person is very decided that there is Atma and I am going to focus only on Atma. Okay, so there are two aspects of mind. The man is that which is vacillating. Okay, why does it vacillate? Because it follows the senses, and the senses will always look at something and always say ये मेरे को अच्छा लगा, बुरा लगा, and one will follow that, and then the desire will get created, all that will happen. But ये मन को जो है साधता है, उसके बाद में कहता है कि मेरी बुद्धि एकदम निश्चय है, उसको पूरा निश्चय है कि ये आत्मा है और मैं उसी में अपनी बुद्धि लगाऊंगा. तो इस तरह से जो करेगा तो वो धीरे धीरे करके अपने मन को भी संभाल लेगा और धीरे धीरे करके अपनी इंद्रियों को भी संभाल लेगा. Controlling your senses. So there are two aspects of any control. One is that which is imposed by a thought, and that which is happening by itself. Okay, so initially it will be imposed by a thought that I must control my senses. And later on, as practice, as you build your swabhav around it, then it will not need any control. Okay. That is what is really indicated in these sentences, various aspects of the characteristics which have been described as the ones which are belonging to a person who is going to be realized or who has been realized. Okay. So, for example, he will not be having any udveg. Udveg means any distress. He will not get upset. उसको एक हर्ष उस तरह का उत्कर्ष नहीं होगा कि आई एम sort of jumping with joy. Okay, so he is balanced in that. When he finds he's not going to have a marsh, he's got no resentment against anybody. He'll be able to balance that in him. Then he is able to then also not have any fear, anxiety. Okay, because he understands that all this which is happening is all due to my karmas. And that karmas which are manifesting themselves now, if I tackle them by being balanced, by my understanding that these are just karmas which have come, and I'm not going to be distressed by them, then he is going to be able to not create any further karmas. The बंधन जो कि कर्मों का बंधन है वो एक तरह से हम उस प्रकार से तोड़ते जाते हैं. तो इसमें दो स्थितियां हैं. एक तो करने की स्थिति, जब हम साधक हैं तो हम करते हैं इन सब प्रैक्टिसेस को, और जो सिद्ध हो जाते हैं वो इन प्रैक्टिसेस को वो छूट जाते हैं प्रैक्टिसेस, because the situation, the sthiti itself is indicative of that set of aspects of not having any aversion, not having any sorrow, not having any excessive joy, not having resentment, not having fear. Okay. So that state comes as you put that into practice, all these things into practice. And he likes such a person. He talks about a muni. So when he talks about a muni, he is saying that person is hearing, and when he has to respond to somebody, then he is looking at whom am I responding to. That whom I am responding to is the same as me, and therefore what should I say? And that saying itself becomes immaterial if he understands that it is something which is just maybe going to disturb the other person's equanimity. Then it need not be said at all. It needs to be understood in that particular sense. So there are various aspects to it which we have taken cognizance of. So repeating these, understanding these, bringing them to life in your own life is going to help you to progress, to be able to realize that which is ultimate. That's what being said in chapter 12. Now, what is that ultimate? Is the question which will arise. Okay, we have said something about it, but we'll try and understand that more and more as we go into the next set of chapters. Okay, just saying वो ब्रह्म है, वो eternal है, वो imperishable है, वो निर्विकार है, many things which emerge from there. We have to analyze and understand them. Then only our mind will start resting in it. अभी तो ऊपर ऊपर से हम देख रहे हैं, तो वो हम आगे के अध्यायों में पढ़ेंगे. When we started, we said we'll have a session which is an open session, and I'm just setting the context for it. You can give your thoughts in this session. You can say, this is what I have found in my practice. You can ask questions. So in that sense, it is an open session. Leave it to you all.
about
Please.
the action versus inaction, when you said that one must renounce any attachment to the outcome.
Yeah.
What if in the middle of the action you have a sudden attachment to the outcome, and you don't have enough practice to renounce the attachment? Are you supposed to detach from the action itself, or
No. So when we perform an action, we will perform an action only with a particular intent.
okay?
Okay. That intent or the goal is there. Am I attached to it? Do I desire it very, very seriously? Is my mind constantly only going to that which is the goal, which is the outcome? So I have to say no. I have to perform my action, and the goal will get attained if I perform my action well. Right?
Yeah.
So I perform my action with that particular perspective, thought, intent, pravritti. ठीक है? So that becomes an action without any attachment to the outcome. Is that okay? Now we look at the term akarm, which you mentioned. Right?
Okay.
Akarm is performing. So suppose you say that I'm sitting in a corner in a room and I'm not doing anything. Is that akarm?
Technically, it's not.
It is not. You're right. Because I'm saying I'm not doing anything, that not doing anything is also
Doing something.
doing something. So when will you do akarm?
When you technically renounce.
Absolutely. So when you are become a sannyasi, okay, you renounced all karmas, you have become Brahma, let's say for a moment, then there is no action. Because in that Brahma there is no action.
Okay.
So if he is doing work, the person who has been realized, he will be going around doing whatever he is doing, but that is not action. Because action, karma means there has to be something which will get attached, something which will get achieved. And that process has been shown in chapter 4. हम जो चीज़ डिज़ायर करते हैं वो हमको मिलती है और वो फिर हमको एक्शन में फिर से प्रोपेल करती है. So we get bound into just going on and on and on.
जैसे हम लोग मतलब अब हमारे जो कर्म है, अगर हम उनका त्याग, कर्म फल का त्याग कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे वो अब कर्म नहीं हो जाएंगे? मतलब बिल्कुल सिंसियरिटी से अगर हम उसको मतलब बिल्कुल छोड़ रहे हैं, त्याग शांति अधिगच्छितम, तो हमारे कर्म अकर्म नहीं कहा जाएगा? अगर सन्यासी के मामले जो अकर्म,
जब हम फल का त्याग करते हैं तो एक तरह से कहा जाता है कि हमने कर्मों का भी त्याग किया. एक तरह से, वास्तव में नहीं, पर एक तरह से कहा जाता है. अब इस बात को यदि समझें तो फिर कर्म है, बट उसके अटैचमेंट नहीं होने से द कर्म इज नॉट गेटिंग इनटू बॉन्डेज.
वो एडवांटेज है.
और धीरे धीरे उसमें वही स्थिति आती है कि आप, क्योंकि कोई पर्पस नहीं है कर्म करने का, क्योंकि पहले तो आपने अटैचमेंट छोड़ा, फिर वो पर्पस भी छूट जाएगा, तो फिर वो धीरे धीरे आप अकर्म की तरफ बढ़ेंगे. कर्म संन्यास होगा, उसके बाद में अकर्म हो जाएंगे.
Many questions.
हाँ बोलिए.
I thought we should go and ask.
Me, please.
Maybe
I think we should
this is an
follow.
open class. Maybe we can each
आप जैसे कहें.
point, like what are we struggling with right now? After that, it's been a year. तो सबकी और जर्नी में हमने कहाँ तक कर लिया और एक अभी हमारा कौन सा पॉइंट है जिस पे हम काम कर रहे हैं.
ठीक है, बोलो, कुछ भी बोलो.
नहीं मैं नहीं, आप बोलिए.
Start from you.
Okay, start from me. अब मेरे पास बहुत सारे हैं, I'm hoping कि सब एक एक कवर कर लें. For me, presently it's मेरा पे जो आप बोल रहे थे,
मतलब
हाँ, कि उस पे I'm working on it. एंड हम लोग लाइक यू नो नॉर्मली क्लास में बहुत बार डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि इसको हम डी अटैचमेंट ना बोलें और यू नो डिसर्नमेंट बोलें. वी हैव वर्कड ऑन इट एंड स्पेशली जैसे आपकी अगर इफ यू डोंट गेट टू मीट योर चिल्ड्रन हु आर अवे लाइक से फॉर 5 years, यू नो लाइक जिनके बच्चे बाहर पढ़ रहे हैं या जो भी, सो वहाँ पे जो मेरा वाला एंगल, वो भी अपने कर्म कर रहे हैं, वो पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, यू नो, या जॉब कर रहे हैं, ऑल दैट. एंड सो हाउ डू यू एक्शन है उनका भी, हमारा भी एक्शन है, बट वो मेरा लॉजिकली बहुत अच्छी तरह समझ में आता है. बट एज अ मदर और लाइक यू नो आप उसमें उसको कैसे डिसएंगेज करें कि समझते हुए भी, और इट कैन बी मेरा घर या मेरे पेरेंट्स, देन द लॉस ऑफ पेरेंट्स, यू नो, तो यू नो कि इट इज आवर सोल का टाइम था, या लाइक आई फॉर एग्जांपल आई रिसेंटली लॉस्ट माय मदर. So all these things get mixed up. वो भी मेरी थी. So how do you handle all that in different living and people who have crossed over also? तो वो मेरा से मोह जो अब नहीं है और वो मेरा से मोह जो अभी है हमारे पास आसपास. So how do you handle that loss and
तो उसको हैंडल
absence?
करते हैं समझ से. समझ किस प्रकार की है, ये मेरापन किसमें उत्पन्न, किसमें हो रहा है, बॉडी माइंड के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में. सो आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड माई सेल्फ विद द बॉडी, आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड माई सेल्फ विद द बॉडी माइंड कॉम्प्लेक्स. ओके, सो हमने देखा चैप्टर 7 के अंदर परा प्रकृति और अपरा प्रकृति. Para is that which is beyond. Apara is that which is as it is manifested. It includes all the things. Anything in the form of energy, in the form of thought, in the form of any intention, any intuition, anything. We have astral bodies, we can have whatever else you can call it. So anything and everything is apara. It's right here. It's manifesting in some way or the other. We can sense it. So that which is beyond any sense, any understanding of any of our perceptivities or whatever, that is para. You cannot relate to it because it has got no form, no thing. So you can't relate to it. There cannot be anything which you can compare or anything like that. Incomparable. So it is something which is totally different. And that is I. That I have decided I am going to merge with this body. This body, mind, whatever. And therefore I continue to experience that sorrow, attachment, whatever, with that which is manifest. When I am dreaming, at times I am aware of myself as the person dreaming. Very often I am, till I don't get caught up in the dream deeply, right? If I'm caught up deeply in the dream, then you have that attachment with that what is happening in the dream.
It's like almost like when you're reading a book also sometimes.
Correct.
So
You get attached
involved,
get
the
totally
characters,
involved in
yeah.
the characters, in the way the entire situation has been created by the author, the subject, or whatever. So I have therefore created that attachment with that subject. But that is also in the dream. As soon as I realize I've created that and I'm not that, then I can see it, but I am not attached. So, should I practice detachment? Okay, I remember this Rahul's question. Okay, it was looking at me.
I noticed that.
Okay, and that's the question. At some stage, you will understand the answer also, but we'll try just now. So there's no harm. You don't practice that. You realize that. Okay, through understanding of the state which is yours. In my ignorance, I will remain attached. In my realization, I'm not attached. Every moment I say I am Brahma, I can sense I'm not attached. But I lose that. I lose that state. Because my senses, my mind, everything just goes out to get attached to the subjects, and therefore the emotions and the feelings of that which is manifesting. Does that help? There's a lot more to go in it,
Yeah,
but we'll be taking maybe next 1 year on that. So
There's sense.
I think you have to practice it
Practice,
till you
yeah,
realize it.
absolutely.
Because it's like fake it till you make it kind of thing. You have to keep reminding, practicing, and then maybe one day there'll be that shift, and
The
you
shift.
suddenly realize.
No, there
No,
are
this-
there are very good days, and there are dips. So on a good day, everything is very clear. Then you have a foggy day. So I mean, these are the questions we can ask here. Ki foggy day pe you don't forget your driving skills. You still drive,
Yeah.
but it is like So वही है.
So how do you bring
Yeah.
yourself to be able to drive on a foggy day and make your skills so inherent in yourself?
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. We all understand that,
Yeah.
but we have to ask you.
So what is it that will help you to do it is first to listen, Shravanam. Okay. Second is Mananam, means contemplation. You'll constantly think about various aspects of things, how you are looking at a particular thing, how you're responding to a particular thing, every action.
To keep reflecting. Maybe at
So-
the end of the day, you could have that reflection.
So when we look at these shlokas, the last shlokas which we have read, they are the ones you can start reflecting on. Those aspects can be reflected. I may have pain about a particular issue. Am I making it into a sorrow? For example, कष्ट सबको है, पर उससे मैं दुख मनाऊं, वो मेरी मर्जी. See, it's all given there. I'm just sort of taking a sample out of it to show you. Now, how do you practice? So you'll have to sit down, think, and then there'll be certain aspects which you can handle by saying that if I keep this photograph away, I will forget this human, for example. Okay? Then you will say, okay, that's just a physical movement of it. Then I have to say, yes, I remember the person a lot more because the way he used to eat food, or she used to serve food, or she used to eat food, or talk to me. Well, how do I explain that to myself? Okay, so I'll say, okay, it was her time, she had to go, he had to go. Atma, let's understand all that. Slowly, we say that psychologically we become understanding of that particular aspect. Then we realize that and me were same and are same. So nobody is gone. There's nothing, nowhere to go. Right here. And then you have all the calmness. So that detachment is only a word in a semi-final stage, okay? Quarter-final stage. There's nothing in the final stage. Except that one which permeates everything. You can call it love, you can call it happiness, you can call it bliss, you can call it peace, quietness, whatever. I don't know, it helps.
Yeah,
Please
no,
ask
it's
other
nice.
questions.
I mean, anyone else is going through or working
The
on
Anything.
acceptance is a very important aspect of it. That you have to accept the fact that the person is gone.
How do you accept a person? There has to be some rational logic, because mind understands rational logic, constantly explores that.
like last class, someone mentioned that your friend got 32 years old son, so there is a difference. Someone who's at 80. So I'm like, anyone else has,
Someone who's young.
this was just my question. It's up, please up.
आप भी कहिए.
हाँ, किसी का कुछ और, any other fears, but just keeping the class interactive.
सर कैन वी हैव ये वाला नजरिया रख सकते हैं कि भाई उस समय हम ये सोचें कि उसकी भलाई है किस पे,
हाँ,
है ना?
हाँ.
तो उस पे भी फिर हमारा थॉट प्रोसेस थोड़ा सा फर्क हो जाएगा
हरी.
कि उसमें उसकी भलाई है, और अगर मैं उससे इतना अटैच फील करूंगी तो वो भी डिस्टर्ब होगा.
हाँ.
So that way we can change ourselves.
So depending on what the situation and the interaction is about, you can construct these things. Eventually, the final stage is that of just that oneness, which is not easy to attain till you don't dissolve the earlier stages.
Yes. It's a difficult thing.
So we have to tackle it at material physicality. We have to tackle it at the psychological level, the sociological, behavioral level. Okay?
Aren't you losing your emotions?
You are completing the emotions.
Completing the emotions. Oh,
Because the depth of compassion, the depth of friendship, the depth of fearlessness, the depth of joy which you will have is not imaginable. It's not based on any external provocation. It exists by itself. Which is what you find in these people who are.
it's when you explain, whenever we are here, we understand each and everything. But when we are in the business, when we are in the daily life, we get engrossed, and after that we lose. And most of the time we lose.
So it is the starting point is again the same thing. Shravanam, listening.
Right.
What is that? That is could be through reading, could be through watching, anything which is being brought in by the senses. Shravan. Satsang is therefore important. So when you have a group like this, there is a massive, thing which sort of happens to us in terms of gaining insights from words spoken by each other. A question asked by somebody
Yeah.
can actually lead to some resolutions and all.
Exactly.
I mean, if you think of the young soldier, 20 years old, facing the enemy on the war field, he or she, depending on the whatever, would have attachments. May or may not have a family, parents, children, siblings. But at the point of war, there is complete detachment from all those because the focus is on the action.
So you're absolutely right. So Arjun has never been told to be detached. We'll read the Gita again and again, okay? Arjun has been told, you remember me when you're fighting. That's all. He has been told to be attached to his action as much as he's attached to Krishna.
That's what Rahul is saying, that your focus should be an action.
Yet it has to be.
But you say that the action ke saath mein there should be no detachment.
There
There
cannot
should be
be.
a detachment.
There
He
cannot
lost
be.
Abhimanyu.
No, there cannot be.
There was sorrow, there was whatever, but then he was back. Sorry.
So the aspect there which he's telling Arjun is, don't be worried about the outcome. Don't get attached to the outcome. You go and fight your war. And he creates that situation of Abhimanyu being lost. The rules of the war were broken in that fight with Abhimanyu, the Chakra.
Or even
So that Krishna could break the rules using Arjun to fight each of those Yudhas who had invincible powers of not being able to die. So if you read that aspect of the seventh day, when in the Chakravyuh Abhimanyu is killed and who all are involved, and he is attributing it to Bhishma, who is the Senapati. Krishna makes sure that even if he is taking those steps which may not be justified as practices or the rules for the war, he is making allowances to say this is the right thing to do. Because if somebody else breaks the rule, this is the way to fight it. So we also set rules in our business. If somebody else breaks it, if we remember Krishna, follow him, he will guide you to fight that with all the right things. Okay? They're not wrong things.
all is fair.
That's it, right. जो चीज हम यदि कहते हैं ना कि सीधी उंगली से नहीं निकालते, टेढ़ी उंगली निकालनी पड़ती, वो भी जो है उन्होंने सीखा. So don't feel that there is any time, any place where we have to be at loss to act. We have to act. I'm not going to withdraw. Jude has not been allowed to withdraw. He has created that situation where Abhimanyu is lost and in a fight which is totally unfair. He's trapped.
So this again comes from surrender and trusting.
Yeah.
अब यहाँ पे हम like in a daily life situation we are trying to control everything. Like अगर आप एक सब्जी भी बना रहे हो आलू गोभी की उसको भी हम कंट्रोल करते हैं कि हमारा आलू कितना गलना चाहिए, गोभी का कलर, like smallest of things. You know, we are controlling everything, and that fear of the outcome, that is the one for anxiety that causes, because we want the outcome also in a certain way which we have perceived, not with the trust way, and we are all working
So
on
let's understand. You do it this way. Now we look at some महाजन. महाजन होते हैं जो खाना बनाते हैं, ब्राह्मण होते हैं. जब वो भोग लगाते हैं मंदिर में, तो क्या वो भोग झूठा हो सकता है? नहीं हो सकता. तो वो चखते नहीं उसको. वो इतनी शुद्धता से बनाते हैं कि उनका मन भी जो है उसके अंदर चाहत नहीं होती कि मैं ये मेरे लिए बन रहा है, ये भगवान के लिए बन रहा है. ठीक है. अब जब वो भोग लग के हम लोग को प्रसाद मिलता है, वो अधिकतर कितना स्वादिष्ट होता है, उसमें कोई कमी होती है नहीं.
I think the same love is
Correct.
when a mother cooks for the
Child.
child. Yeah, I think that is there is no fear. I think
and वैसे ही जैसे हम लंगर का खाना खाते हैं
हाँ,
गुरुद्वारे में,
सही बात कह रहे हो.
तो उसमें अगर हल्का सा नमक कम भी होता है वो भी हमें इतना अच्छा लगता है. Like everything जो भी बन के आता है,
बिकॉज वो भगवान के लिए बना है, भगवान उसमें
अपने
Present.
घर का खाना भी ऐसे ही बनाओ,
हाँ,
उसी के लिए कर लें.
सब
और
उसने
बनेगा,
डिग्रीज दी है,
क्योंकि
उसी के लिए
आपने
बन गया।
अपनी बुद्धि वहां लगाई है, और बुद्धि साथ साथ भगवान के अंदर भी लगी है। भगवान करा रहे हैं, भगवान कर रहे हैं, मैं अपने जितनी भी मेरी कैपेबिलिटी है उसके हिसाब से बेस्ट कर रहा हूँ। अर्जुन भी उसी प्रकार से अपना
भगवान ने
फीट चला
दी है, इसके लिए आपको करना है।
तो भगवान के लिए करना है,
भगवान के लिए
कृष्णा के
करना
लिए करना है कि जब if you are cooking a food, you
Yes.
are cooking it for Krishna. I'm putting my best. He will do the rest. Right?
इसीलिए जब कहा जाता है घर में कि हम लोग बच्चों को भी भगवान मानते हैं, पति को भी भगवान मानते हैं, किसी और को भी भगवान मानते हैं, माता पिता किसी को, क्योंकि उससे हमारी बुद्धि जो है जिस प्रकार से कर्म करेगी वो एक प्रकार से भगवान को ही अर्पित होती है।
I wanted to ask in the war, like they've been shown, I think I'm not very clear with the basics, but then I think that they Arjun is confident also of victory, right, at some point. But Abhimanyu was also killed was he killed in the war? So I mean, what if, like, how are we supposed to decide also that, because for us everyone is a good person, right? That inherently you will have a good opinion of yourself, and you will say that I am, in my character, I am the one who's going to be a good person. So who is like your war, or your, in the real world, is against evil or something bad? But then, like, are you supposed to just go ahead with the war, not knowing whether or not is it a good war or a bad war? And like, how would you know what is for the welfare of the person when you're acting, or if you don't have a perception of the consequence?
So the first thing which he says is that you have to perform action according to your capabilities.
Okay.
So if you are capable of doing something, you should do that. And when you do that, you will do that with keeping me in mind that I am with you. Okay, and you're dedicating that also to him without worrying about what is the outcome. You know the outcome is going to be whatever you're working towards, let's say. Okay, so you want to, let's say, graduate from a particular school, finishing your course, or you want to get an A grade or whatever. You say, yeah, I need to get an A grade, but I'm going to sit down and work and keep in mind that I'm being supported by Krishna.
Okay.
And then you do your work. You will automatically get your A grade. If somebody comes as a hindrance in it, which is, let's say, for example, some force comes in, even then you should not get disturbed.
Okay.
Because that has also come to tell you something and help you to actually go and overachieve. Okay, for example, suppose that night you can't sleep. Next morning you are, whatever the reasons for not able to sleep. You'll say, no, I'm going to sleep, because that sleep which did not happen also was sent by Krishna. And with his help, I'm going to overcome all this.
Okay.
I'm not going to feel low, I'm feeling tired, I can't remember. I'm going to do my best even then. I'm just giving you a very small situation.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Life is more complex. Okay? Just like there are 15 different forces which are opposing you in Mahabharata, and there are some 10 different forces which are supporting you. You don't know how to manage any of them. Those are complex situations which have got huge backgrounds, which come up in some situations in life. So you just have to say, listen, I can't handle Bhishma. I can't handle Dronacharya. I can't handle so and so. I am afraid of Karna. Okay. But all this will get sorted out.
Like, my question is, like, aren't they, like, in real life, aren't they also good people? Like,
They may be whatever.
so then,
They have their own karma. They are doing their own stuff. I have to do my stuff with the help of Krishna.
okay.
When you play a game of chess,
Yeah.
you will often do what is known as a gambit of sacrifice. You will surrender a rook because you want a castle. Your end objective is to win the game. In Mahabharata, somebody wants to win the war. In that process, whether the other piece is good or bad, it is the enemy. And the enemy has to be defeated. That is my objective.
Yeah, this
So
is
I will use a strategy which will help me get to that objective. And in this particular case, you have Arjun being mentored by the best strategist available. You have Abhimanyu. We haven't talked about Ghatot. Look at the Ghatot episode.
Yes, pick one.
My God, I mean, that is surrendering, almost surrendering the queen kind of thing, because it extracted the queen from the other side in that situation. So, but it's just not good or bad in that sense. It transcends to a different level when you look at the objective. It's
In
talking
this-
of business. In business, you want to be number one in your market share. Or
so
whatever.
so the war, like the opponent is the enemy.
Sure.
Essentially.
So I am not having any aversion to my enemy.
Okay.
I may not be friends with him.
Yeah.
I'm not having any aversion with the enemy.
Okay.
But I have to fight my battle.
Okay.
If you come in front of me, so be it.
Okay.
You understand the point I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a risk. Aren't we running a risk of doing something wrong also
Yeah.
in this
If you
the
look-
game of war and
so there are definitions which arise. One we talked about, that of capability. What is my capability? Then what is righteous action? Okay, which is eventually for the welfare of humanity. Right? In this case, Krishna being with Arjun itself was the biggest force. I'm not even questioning whether Duryodhan was right or Yudhishthir was right
So then,
or Dhritarashtra was right. Okay? We can have that debate separately. But I'm saying, as far as the story goes, Dhritarashtra was not right. He was not doing dharm wali cheezein. Duryodhan was very arrogant. He was propagating a dharm. So that's the way it was. But suppose we would look at simple things like, Ukraine versus Russia. Now you can't ever come to a conclusion who's right or wrong if you want to debate and listen. But obviously then you say that who was the one who first started it. You have no other way to say it.
I don't see in this game, I don't see anyone being a fair person, right? So,
So we're
if you
not
see
taking
the
that
world
on.
today,
Yeah.
the way the people are fighting, is there any say right or wrong?
There is no rationality.
It's the same thing. I have to win the war, and in winning a war, as Rahul said, everything is fair.
If you have Krishna with you,
If you have Krishna with you, so
you
everyone
understand.
has.
I purposely
Now
said
the
that.
question, now the thing is that if you ask Trump, he will say Krishna is with me.
No, Krishna will not be
If
there.
you ask anyone, he will say Krishna
No.
and Christ is with me, and I am doing.
No, I will give you the reason,
He'll say,
because-
"I'm Krishna."
Okay, he will say he is Krishna.
Because Krishna is with whom you have to understand Arjun as a character.
Tell him wrong. If he says he is Krishna, we are also saying we are Krishna. We are part of Krishna, isn't it?
Can I say something?
Please.
Go ahead.
You just finish the sentence. So he being there with Arjun is very, very important. Arjun is actually a character in Mahabharata who is complete in all senses. He has the feminine side, he has the masculine side. Okay. He has gone through many sadhanas and many things through the years of being in the forest, in the wild. And he stayed on course in terms of attaining as much capability as he could. Not that he was expecting a war to be fought. Okay. So he has attained many things through that practice. Like Karna is doing it on the other side. He has so much and he is also trying to. But he is doing it with the purpose that he is to prove to the world that he's a Kshatriya and he's not from a low caste. So his actions become to himself. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just confirming that what we are hearing here, which I'm just, in my understanding, it's not so much the action, that question that I can also win the war for a self centered reason that I want what Ukraine has, because, Russia will just take what Ukraine has or vice versa, whatever it is. So the one motive is self centered.
Yeah.
The other motive is what Gita has guided कि मेरा action क्या होना है. So my motive can be according to my varnashram dharma.
Right.
So Arjun's was, I'm a king and warrior. My job is to protect dharma whether I like it. He wanted to do meditation on a mountain. He didn't want kingdom. So I have to do my duty and keep God all for you. Focus, you're with me. It's all for you, and I'm doing my duty. Same action, same war. Motive is so different.
Right.
So the consequence will be different in terms of karma also,
Absolutely.
and in terms of my state of mind also.
Absolutely.
Is what I think.
Absolutely.
We are discussing.
Yeah.
State of mind and bhav is very important. I think the bhav will change everything. Whatever
Yes.
we talk about that wrong and
Right is
Right.
all in the bhav.
the bhav only will, I think, have a control on that.
And in my self-centeredness also, I can say God is with me. Am Brahmasmi, मैं ही तो सब कुछ हूँ. But I'll
No.
have to take the result of that, my motive, which is self-centered, and I'm justifying. Then I have to take the. It's a game of golf against myself. I think that's what I'm understanding in the Gita class. कि किसी को कुछ पता है नहीं है. मेरे को consequence लेना depends where I am operating from, and I need God's help to even know that. Otherwise, I'll fool myself also.
Yeah.
Some thoughts.
I think it has got something to do with niyati and niyat.
Correct.
Your bhav, your niyat and niyati becomes that.
Correct. Yeah. Some more, something from you, some sharing from you, some thoughts from you. Huh?
Diversion. What I was told was that Abhimanyu was a very skilled warrior, and he could have got out of the Chakravyuh also. He was so skilled, but the mistake he made was that he had to kill the enemies as he was going into the Chakravyuh. Kill, and then he would have come out. The mistake was that he did not kill the enemies as he went along, and so he got stuck. So this is for us also, that as problems arise in our life, you have to tackle them. Otherwise, we'll get so embroiled in them that we will not be able to get out. I mean, that's some analogy someone told me.
Yeah. So
Anyway, there are versions of this. So here the version is what you said possibly also exists, but it is said that he was adapted getting into the Chakravyuh and fighting his way through it and killing warriors along the way, but he did not know how to get out. Because when Arjun was telling this, okay,
His wife went off to sleep.
In her mother's stomach.
Subhadra
So
went
in
to sleep.
these situations, you are not a simple person. Then you have to do something diplomatic. When you are doing a war, you have to be diplomatic, isn't it?
so all the
People
various
call it diplomacy as a very
no, it is not negative. Nothing is negative. जो भी हमें अपने उद्देश्य को पूरी करने के लिए करना है वो हमें करना है. धर्म पूर्वक करना, righteous way में करना is most important. If you dedicate or have your thought in the ultimate that he is with me, it helps you guide your way through. To understand what is right and wrong is very difficult at times.
yes.
And then if you have the ability to understand that both right and wrong are only existing in that which is beyond this, helps you to also decide on what is right and wrong. So if you don't believe that I have Krishna with me, for example, then transcend that space and understand that that is only in the space of manifested thing. You'll get an understanding in yourself that what is right and wrong.
जैसे इवन
That is true.
अर्जुन को भी नहीं पता था कि कृष्णा उनका, जब तक उन्होंने अपना रूप उनको नहीं दिखाया था तब तक अर्जुन को भी नहीं पता था, और उसके लिए उन्होंने उनसे माफी भी मांगी कि मैंने आपको, सो इट इज द सेम थिंग दैट अगेन दैट टू नो कि वही कृष्णा है, वो भी तो कितने यू हैव टू बी असेंडिंग एट दैट, वाइब्रेटिंग एट दैट लेवल आल्सो.
So when we, if you look at Mahabharata, most people there did not understand that Krishna is Bhagwan.
Yeah.
They saw his miracles, but they forgot about his miracles. Okay. They thought he was some person who had immense powers, but he was not considered to be Bhagwan. Difference is, I'm understanding. Okay. As soon as, and Arjun used to like him a lot, and Krishna used to like Arjun a lot, and Arjuna believed that in case he is with me, I'll be able to win the war. That's why he was very happy with the choice which he had with him at that moment. Whether he chose, who chose, whatever, I'm not debating. That led, the confidence in him led Krishna to show to him the form of Bhagwan. He had totally, complete love for Krishna. Krishna says that. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. Often enough, we don't have that love for the person sitting next to us. We don't realize that that person itself is Krishna, actually. Because actually speaking, he is no different. If we have that love, then Krishna will come through that person itself.
So, I have a question.
Yes, such.
That I may treat everyone as a Krishna, but sometimes Krishna, the person in front of you, is behaving very irrational, and as you said, that you have to control those
Be able
situations.
to discern that
So,
and control.
is he a Krishna, or how do I then differentiate?
See, we are operating from a mind and ego, and we are not operating from that which is Brahma. As soon as we realize that person is not operating from Brahma, we understand he is operating from ego.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the easier way to understand.
Ego part
Okay,
is
yeah,
significant.
very clear. As soon as we are operating from ego, then I need to figure out how to handle that.
So the person sitting over there, the body is not Krishna, only the
The essence is,
Yeah.
the tattva is.
tattva is. Yeah. Right.
We cannot, for example, words like "I trust you." Can you give any only examples you can give to say what is trust? No? How do you define trust otherwise? I love you. How do I explain what is love? Abstract nouns. Only through examples and actual realization as I live life. What is truth? So, in a similar fashion, most of the stuff gets handled as an ego, as somebody, as if I am saying it, as if I am doing it. And I understand that. Some people will be operating from that.
So the man has to go.
Not has to. You have to realize yourself
Yeah.
only then it goes, or you have to let that go, where to go, then you realize it.
Can I share a useful thought I heard recently about this only? That in our modern mind, it helped me to, at least get a better idea was in quantum physics, this debate, is it a wave or is it a particle? Karte karte, they realize it's a wave and it's a particle at the same time. So how does it apply here? I am so fascinated. Uh, my husband Rajiv told me this. He said, as Mrinalini or Rajiv, we are the particle, and as Aham Brahmasmi, we are the wave. It depends where I'm looking. If I'm looking at the particle, I'm Mrinalini. If I'm looking at Brahman, I am that. So what you're observing, it becomes that. So it depends where you're observing.
So this is what I would call as the principle of simultaneity. You are simultaneously there and not there. Okay, which is what there is in particle physics.
Also saying.
Right. And therefore, in our existence, we are Brahma. As soon as I realize I'm that, then the rest of it, the mass in it goes away, the particle goes away. I'm just energy. Okay, if I want to treat myself as mass, gross, then the energy goes away. So this is they have argued this in various books, so we'll talk about that separately. Okay.
You want to say something? Yeah, please. Come out.
Look, you were talking about Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have-
What did Putin say or Russia say? He said, I'm surrounded by NATO. Kindly don't join NATO and I will feel secure. Why could he not say in the beginning, I will not join NATO? So the war would not have taken place.
Yes.
But over there was a third guy, that America, Trump, he was playing the game. I will support you. No, you don't. Now where he's left them in the lurch. So you have to be wise and take your own decisions and understand the other guy's point of view also.
It depends if you're a particle or a wave.
Well, you do have Shakuni somewhere around.
And if you make the comedian your president, then this is what happens.
Anyway, let's come back. We actually are run out of time, but if there's any thought, any experience you want to share, if you want to say we'll do a similar session next time also, I'm open to it. But then come out with some things which you need to talk about. It'll be good. Otherwise, we'll take on Aparokshanubhuti from next time. That book is here. If you don't have it, you take another copy. And they're going to be with Mala. Okay? And we'll read right from the beginning. Once we start understanding it, then you'll understand or the matter we have spoken about as to how to figure it out, how to and this Aparokshanubhuti, as I was saying earlier, is the essence of all the Upanishads. It's a very powerful text. It's very simple to look at, okay, to read. But as you spend time on it, it is going to open up so many things in yourself that you will be happy to handle your normal life with that understanding. So we'll do that and then come back to chapter 13 in Gita, which will become easier. Otherwise, it's a very abstract chapter.
Aparokshanubhuti, how many classes it take?
It will take 144 shlokas, may take about 14 sessions.
Okay.
Well, let's say.
Because next 2 weeks I'll not be there.
So there is the only 2 sessions. We use that.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can read that and you can come back to it again. There's no issue.
So next time
We'll start with this. If we want to, then we can certainly have another open session, but otherwise we'll start with it. And understand this Aparokshanubhuti has to be understood. One, everybody has to understand in his own way, in his own mind, with his own self. Okay? Maybe others can help, but you have to understand.
You want to say something and you're not saying it.
No, he's not saying
He's
anything.
wanting me to say.
So what I am carrying today is that the how and the Krishna, whatever you do, and to feel the Krishna's presence and his that he wants it, and I'm doing it for him. I think that will change the total context, the way I talk to people, the way I talk to anyone, and that makes a hell lot of difference.
Yeah.
How you handle situations.
But then you also have to be detached from the outcome. If
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
person
yeah, yeah. You
behaves
have
in
to-
a way which you don't like,
Correct.
then you have to just
So step by
detach.
step, I
Yeah.
think we can't do everything at a time. We
Yeah,
can.
there's
We
so
think
many-
that we will do it, but once you
Yeah.
start thinking, you're centered in Krishna, and then you.
You are just doing
just-
your part.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Forget about what the other person
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But they
I'm
might
just talking
Point to
about-
your part.
Yes.
Yes.
But they might
you know,
be
if you have seen any of the videos of people who go surfing,
Yeah.
so they start with the low waves and they go waves. And then there are actually the curling competitions where they go on those